1. Introduction. My name is Jenny. I am 32 years old and I teach people how to make pottery. I work in a small room at the community center. My hands are often dry from the clay dust. My life is simple. I make clay things, I teach my classes, and then I go home to my cat. That is all I do. 2 years ago, something bad happened to my heart. My boyfriend left me. He left me for my best friend. This made me very sad for a long time. After that pain, I made a strong promise to myself. I said, no more men. I said, no more looking for love. I decided to only focus on my art. I thought that love was not real. I was happy being alone and I truly stopped searching for a partner. 2. The rich man. A man walked into my pottery studio. He was very different from my students and me. He wore an expensive blue suit. His shoes were shiny and black. He looked like a man with a lot of money. The room suddenly became quiet. Everyone stopped working with the clay. He introduced himself. His name was Will. He said that his father owned the building where we worked. Will then told us the bad news. His father wanted to sell the building. My students looked very angry. This studio was a safe place for all of us. It was our community. I stood up from my chair. I needed to speak to him. I looked Will in the eyes and told him that he could not sell our space. I said the place belonged to the neighborhood. Will looked at me for a long time. His eyes looked sad, not angry. He spoke in a quiet voice. He told me that he was only doing his job. He did not argue with me. He just stood there in his expensive suit, looking like a stranger in our messy, safe place. 3. A new student. The day after Will visited, he returned to the community center. He looked very different from before. The expensive blue suit was gone. Now he wore simple jeans and a plain t-shirt. He looked less like a boss and more like one of my students. He walked up to me near the wheels. I want to understand this place, he said. I want to know why it is so important to everyone. Please teach me pottery. I started to laugh. The idea of a rich man like him touching clay seemed very funny. I thought about my promise to stay away from men, but something made me say yes. Okay, Will, I agreed. Let us see if you can make anything besides trouble. He sat down at an empty pottery wheel. I showed him how to center the clay. He tried to push the wet earth into a ball, but it was not easy. He pushed too hard. The clay spun out of control. It flew off the wheel and landed on his face and in his hair. He looked completely messy. I had to cover my mouth to stop laughing loudly. Then Will looked up at me. He did not look angry about the mess. He smiled. It was not the cold look from yesterday. This smile was warm and genuine. For a short moment, I forgot everything else. My heart started to beat very fast, like a drum. I quickly looked away. He was still the man trying to take our studio, but seeing him smile made my chest feel strange. 4. Late at night. It was late in the studio one evening. Will and I were the only ones there. Soft music played from the radio. Gentle jazz filled the quiet space. We were trying to work on the pottery wheels. Will was still learning. He found it very hard to shape the clay properly. He struggled with making a simple vase shape. The clay kept falling over. I watched him for a moment. He looked frustrated but determined. I decided to help him. I walked over to his wheel. I spoke softly to him. I asked if I could show him how to do it. He nodded his head. I stood close behind him as he sat down. I placed my hands directly over his hands. Together, we started to guide the wet clay. My hands were warm against his. We worked slowly, making the vase rise up from the spinning lump. The physical contact between us made the air thick. It felt like a strong, silent connection. Will stopped moving his hands. He turned his head slowly. His face was very near mine. I could smell his nice cologne. It mixed with the strong, earthy smell of the clay. Even though he was the man trying to take our studio, I wanted him near me. I realized I felt something important despite the danger of the situation. 5. A secret drink. Will and I left the pottery studio. We walked to a small bar that was near the center of town. We chose a table in a very dark corner so that no one would see us sitting together. It felt like we were sharing a secret. It was exciting, but also a little scary. Will leaned closer to me across the small table. He spoke quietly. He told me that he really hated his job. He said he did not want to be like his father, who only wanted to destroy things. Will explained that he wanted to build and create things instead. This was a big change for him to say. I felt close to him then. I reached across the table and gently touched his hand. He did not pull away. Instead, he held my fingers very tight. It was a moment when we were both being honest and open with each other. Suddenly, the front door of the bar opened. A woman from our neighborhood walked in. She stopped when she saw us. She saw me holding hands with Will, the man who wanted to take our studio. Her face looked angry. I pulled my hand back quickly. I felt fear inside me. I knew what the people in the neighborhood would think. They would see this as a big betrayal. I whispered to Will that we could not be seen together like this. Will looked at me with strong feeling. He did not seem worried. "I don't care who sees us," he said in a serious voice. But I knew it was dangerous for us to be together in public. 6. The rain and the kiss. After we left the dark corner of the bar, Will walked with me to my apartment building. Soon after, the sky opened up. It started to rain very hard. The water came down fast and strong. We walked quickly, but we still got very wet. Our clothes were heavy with the cold rain. We stopped at my front door. We stood there, water dripping from our hair and shoulders. We were shivering a little from the cold. Will looked at me. His eyes were full of a deep feeling I had not seen before. He put his hands on my wet shoulders. "Jenny, I can't stop thinking about you," he said clearly over the sound of the rain. He pulled me closer to him. Then he kissed me. It was a long kiss. It was slow and very passionate. It felt like the rain outside was inside me too. It tasted like the wet street and a strong desire to be close. I knew I should stop, but I did not want to. I invited him inside my small apartment. We did not turn on the main lights. We only used one small lamp. We sat down on my sofa. We started to talk. We talked for many hours about everything. We did not stop until the night was almost over. Then we stopped talking. Will held me very tightly against his chest. We spent the rest of the night together in my bed. It was soft and warm. For the first time since my heart broke, I felt safe. I forgot the promise I made about not looking for love again. I felt like I was finally home. 7. Bad news. The morning after I spent the night with Will was very bad. Trouble started quickly. A picture of us at the small bar was on the local news. The news had a big, angry title about me, the pottery teacher, being with the man trying to sell the building. It was a public scandal. My students saw the picture. They sent me many angry messages. They called me a traitor because I was seen with Will. I felt very alone and sad about what they thought. Then the real bad news came. Will's father made an announcement. He said the community center building had been sold. This made me think the worst things about Will. I believed he had lied to me. I thought he only spent time with me to make the sale go faster and easier for his father. I tried to call Will many times. I needed to hear his voice and understand. But he did not answer any of my calls. I sat in my quiet apartment with my cat. "I was so stupid," I said to my cat. I had opened my heart, and now it felt broken again, just like 2 years ago. I went back to the studio. I could not stay in the city anymore. I started packing my pottery tools and my things into boxes. I planned to leave the city forever. I would run away from the pain and the betrayal. 8. A happy end. 2 days after I started packing, the door to the studio opened. It was Will. He looked very tired, and he was holding a piece of paper tightly in his hand. He walked in quickly, like he ran a long way. "I quit my father's company," he said. He sounded out of breath. He held out the paper for me to see. "And I bought this building. I used my own money, my savings. It is yours. The studio is safe now." I looked at him. He gave up his job and his money for our small place. I did not know what to say. I only asked, "Why did you do this?" Will walked closer to me. He looked into my eyes with deep feeling. "Because you taught me how to feel again, Jenny. I was like a stone before I met you." I looked down at my hands, covered in old clay dust. I remembered the promise I made to myself after my heart broke. I told myself I would never look for love again. but love found me when I was busy saving my studio. He gently held my face in his hands. "I love you, Jenny," he said to me. My own words came out easily, without fear. "I love you too, Will." I did not worry about the neighbors or the news anymore. I stepped into his arms. We embraced right there in the center of the pottery studio. The air was warm and it smelled like earth and hope. It was a happy end for us.